You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
You are listening to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, August 28th virtual show. Because of COVID-19, our show is temporarily moved virtually. You can also listen to us on podcast or on air on Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We are here to help you build a strong financial blueprint 1 week and one show at a time. If you are listening to our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We're here to connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And in studio right now, Bruce Hudson of Hudson Portrait Design. The importance of your first impression right here on 1150 AM KKNW.
So, Bruce, I love this topic, and I want to get your feedback on this, and it is so important. Why, in your opinion, is it so important to have such a great first impression?
Well, I think in business, people will tend to trust their eyes more than the words that you have out there. And even, in this environment where people are going to be going to the websites, are going to be Googling you rather than more in-person kind of conversations, it's even more important to put your best foot forward and have that photograph that's really going to depict who you are and that type of thing. And it's kind of funny because, Tina, I've never met you. I saw you at the station when we had our weekly radio show. And seeing your picture and then meeting you for the first time, it was like, it matches. And so whoever photographed you did a really good job, I think, of capturing the essence of who you are. And I think that's really important with any kind of business, is to not only the headshot or the image of you, but what you do and how you convey that message. I think a lot of times people, and we work with a lot of doctors and dentists and chiropractors. And if you go to most of those websites, well, even, loan people like yourself, they're using stock images. And it's just, it's not the real people. It's like stock looking people. Why is that bad? Well, number one, it doesn't really give a unique perspective or a honest perspective to what they're doing. But number two, the SEO is going to be really bad with those stock images, because for so many of those stock images, they might be on 100 or 200 or 1,000 different websites out there. And Google sees that, and Google doesn't like that. So it's always better to have your unique images.
Yeah, and people connect to getting to know you, have that opportunity before they have a chance to meet you. And without a picture, and a great picture, and thank you for the shout out there for me, Bruce. So let's talk about the quality of the picture and how important the actual quality of that image is.
Yeah, and it's one thing, because in this industry, it's really been bombarded with a lot of changes the past 15 years with digital, and being able to take a picture and get instant feedback and look at it. So a lot of people have come into the profession, and then with cell phone pictures, that kind of thing. Everybody and their brother's a photographer now, but there are some tricks that make people look better. And one of them is a higher camera angle. Another one is, more flattering lighting. Another is retouching. I'm able to probably capture about 90% of the image in the camera, and it takes very little retouching to enhance that image. But photography is one of those things that you definitely get what you pay for. And so when the whole digital thing started, a lot of businesses decided to have, Mary in accounting take the pictures because she kind of likes photography. And I think, around the time of the crash in 2008, 2009, a lot of businesses did that. And then they found that, well, maybe the quality of images is the reason why we're not getting the quality or the number of clients that that we used to get with a professional doing that. So yeah, money, unfortunately in my business, you get what you pay for. You really do.
Yeah, and it's really important to have a great photographer that knows exactly what they're doing. My book cover for Journey with Me, which is based on my personal journey in life and how I got to my personal and professional core practices. So there is pictures of me on the book because it's my story. And Victoria actually did some touch-ups from the professional photographer. This is before I knew you, Bruce, or I would have given you a call. It was a really foggy day out there, but the sun was coming through. And I was on a railroad track, and my eyes were just all like not the best. And so Victoria literally took a picture of my eyes in my office like this, because that's where the picture was. And she took my own eyes and put them on the actual photo. And so being able to make those adjustments as need be is really important.
Yeah, just a little, head turn here, tilt that. I mean, the body language is something that most people don't really realize, but just a little tweak and you can really, help convey the message that you're trying to get there.
Let me ask you, Bruce, I see often professionals, they'll get like one set of the professional like headshots or whatever professional pictures done often early in their career, and they use that forever. And then you meet them and you're like, who the heck is this person? Like nowhere near the same. And, and they might be a lot more successful. They might be a whole different person. We grow as human beings. So how important is it, do you think, in your opinion, to update your image?
Yeah, I have some realtors that, religiously every year they update their headshot, and most people don't do that. And I have to admit, I used a headshot for maybe 8 years. The last time I was down in weight and I was waiting to that major weight loss. And, about a month ago, I had a whole new set taken because I felt a lot better about myself and I thought I looked a lot better. So I'm the worst. I'm just as vain as everybody else, type of thing. But we encourage people to do it, every couple of years. And I think the clients that you're trying to attract, if they see your headshot and then they come and they see you in real life and then they see that, and I forget the term in the dating world, what they call that, catfishing or something.
There you go.
Is that okay? So I would recommend every couple years.
Yeah, you want to look like your authentic self for sure. So Bruce, let's talk about where you get your photo taken, in studio or what type of location. What do you advise and do with your clients?
It really depends on what you do in the environment that you're in. With realtors, some of them want more of a traditional in-studio headshot. The trends that we're seeing are more doing it more out in the environment. So like when we photograph doctors, it's not a clinical background, but definitely it's not an in-studio type of thing. Lawyers traditionally would always have an in-studio type of portrait, and that's kind of changing. As they're trying to change their image, they're going to more of an office kind of shoot or shot with a lot more light. So they're using a lot more window light, that type of thing. So it really depends on the business. And that's one thing we always meet with our clients ahead of time and try to discuss all these things. And not just from a photography perspective, but from a marketing perspective, because, with the experience that we've had all these years, I can take some amazing photographs of my clients, but I want to know the why. Why are we doing this? What's the message you want to convey? And the setting, Tina, really does make a difference with that. You're right.
Makes total sense. They're trying to get connected.
Yep.
Yeah, you said something interesting we start with our eyes, but another piece of that is, right, we intake a lot of information with our eyes too, and you can intake a lot of information from an image. So I really like that, because when you see something like that, then it tells you kind of a story about the person. So it says a lot about you, Bruce, and how you're controlling that narrative for that person. And going back to that first impression thing, this is what you see of this person and, what you want to convey. So I heard something about lifestyle photography. What is that all about, Bruce?
Well, that's kind of what I was saying before, is that, if we're photographing a dentist, let's do it in the offertory. Let's show the lifestyle around her. When it comes to my family portraits or high school senior portraits, like the senior portraits I did yesterday of one of my clients. I've worked with this family for 30 plus years. And this is the second or third senior, I think, that we did. And so in the consultation, we talk about, what do you like to do? What are you known for? If you look back 20, 25 years from now and we see these photographs, what's it going to say about you? So yesterday we started at Gasworks Park, and then we went up to Cary Park on Queen Anne Hill, and then we went to Pike Place, and then we went to Alki. And so we really showed the lifestyle of this high school senior, with his guitar, with his dog, with more of an urban look, with City of Seattle in the background. And Mount Rainier was out yesterday. It was amazing up there on Capitol Hill. So that's kind of what I mean by lifestyle. If it's a realtor, we might take them in the neighborhood where they're farming, their clients, that type of thing. So you can, put the lifestyle and the photograph together to help tell that story.
Yeah, story is so important now, and we know that, and people are really leveling up that story process. So why would not your images also be a part of that story? So Bruce, we have just about a minute left, and I would love to ask you a question, and then you can leave any share that you'd like to with our listeners. When finding the best photographer, what are you looking for?
Well, I think somebody that's willing to take the time to sit down and talk with you. If somebody just says, hey, let's meet here and I'll take your picture, yeah, they might be a little bit less expensive or a lot less expensive, but you want somebody that's really going to listen to you and find out, the why of the photograph. And to me, that's really important to sit down. And it's one reason why we've been in business for 38 years. I listen to my clients, and they convey to me what they're looking for. And like I mentioned, it's all about relationships. And the title of the book actually was The Relationographer, and it talks about the power of relationships and stories, not just about our last 38 years, but also other businesses that use the power of relationship and relationship marketing to build their business.
That is great, Bruce. And final say to the listeners that you'd like to share as we wrap up your time here.
Well, if you want to get a hold of us, you can go to hudsonportraits.com. That's our main studio website. Or you can email me at bruce@hudsonportraits.com. Our commercial photography, more business photography type website is or hudsonscommercial.com. And if you want to learn more about photography, go to hudsonphotoworkshops.com.
Wonderful, Bruce. Thank you so much for joining us in studio. I know you have your podcast, you had a radio show, so it's great to have kindred spirits right here on our show. Really appreciate your expertise and everything that you're doing for our community and making sure that they look their best, they're telling their story through their photo. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Coming up next on the Money Hour, how to make your website valuable. Dipti Shamara of IY Technology LLC right here in 1150 AM at KKNW.